What is up, players? It's Warboss Tay up in this mug. Today we're taking a look at this Culexus Assassin for the Imperial Agents Army. This is a model I've had in my pile of shame, my pile of potential for a very long time, and I thought now is a good time, since I'm doing a lot of black armored miniatures, to show how I would paint up a black bodysuit. Or a synth suit, I think it's called in Universe. These guys are $40 USD if you're in America, and you can order it off of the Games Workshop website. It really is a terrific looking model. It's got good dynamism and posing. It's not just a foot up on a tactical rock. It looks like it's perched up because of the way it's coming down the rubble, and there's just a lot going on at the top with the mask and the helmet. The helmet itself is called a Animus Speculum, and it helps to focus their null psychic abilities. They're pretty much like a psychic assassin. They go after psychers, enemy psychers, and they've got like psych out grenades and just all sorts of stuff that make them suitable to hopefully tackling enemy psychers. Now, it's a plastic miniature. It comes on one frame, and if you use a hobby knife and cut out the pack like I'm doing, or scissors or whatever, you can use the pack, the plastic part of it, as a wet palette. If you fill up the bottom with water, then you can put a parchment paper or a rolled up paper towel to soak up that water and put the parchment paper on top of that, or just use the paper towel itself. Then you've got a perfectly usable wet palette. You don't have to go out and spend any extra money on one unless you want to. Just fill up the bottom with water, paper towel, and then parchment paper. I actually like using the Army Painter one though. I've gotten used to working with it, but I have used many, I used to call them Gehetto wet palettes back in the day, and I am a huge fan of them, especially if you're just starting out or you don't have much extra money to spend on hobby tools that you can MacGyver and jury rig yourself. You get one frame, and there are 10 plastic components on it. The only option you get is an alternate mask. Now, there's either the grinning skull one you see on the official artwork, or there's another one that looks like more like, I don't know how else to explain it, but like a gimp mask looking front. And the instructions are right on the back here, so you can see the order. Super important, you follow the numbers. The numbers, Mason. What are the numbers? You got to follow the numbers because that shows you the most optimal way to build the miniature. And I think the only part of this that I missed was number 2. I didn't glue him onto the basing part. I kind of left him off so I could put his arms and everything on. I put the base together and then I just left it on the side. But yeah, follow the numbers so that it'll give you the most optimal, pain-free, hassle-free, and worry-free build experience. And like I said, the only option you have is the face mask. Everything else fits into place. If you dry fit the model, the pieces you'll see have different pegs and grooves that fit into each other. So they're pretty much a monopose sculpt. You're not going to have any difference in the arms waving around in the air or the head. You can, I guess, make the head turn around and tilt different directions because it's on a little bit of a ball joint, but everything else is pretty much the same. So I want to tell you that the show today is sponsored by Golden Maple Brushes. I'm going to be using the detail brushes to paint a lot of these wires and some tiny little doodads on this miniature, also to do the fine highlighting on the synth suit. Now, I wouldn't be able to do this with any regular old detail brush. The Golden Maple brushes are really terrific. In this set, you get 3 dry brushes and 4 detail brushes. If you click the link below in the description, you'll see this exact set. Just use my promo code WART, WART. W-A-R-T. And here are the 4 detail brushes I'm talking about. One of them on the right is great for general base coating, but you've got 3 on the left that are really terrific for getting into those fine details. I'm talking about like script work on parchment, eyeballs, and like checker patterns you might have seen on my recent Dark Angels video. You also get these 3 dry brushes, one that's perfect for an infantry model and 2 little bit larger ones for vehicles or terrain. Again, I hope you check it out and take advantage of my promo code for 10% off of your order. Every painter deserves a good set of dry brushes and detail brushes, so pick yourself up one today. Now back to the assembly. So I clipped out the rubble, and I like the rubble too. This is not just your tactical rock with some rebar sticking out. This looks like a collapsed Imperial building. It's got arch windows and bits of metal sticking out in different directions. It's a weird little random looking piece of terrain detritus. And I have some ideas on how I want to paint mine, and I'm really pleased with it. Okay, I'm going to be using Tester's plastic cement. Now, Tester's plastic cement with the blue label is what I generally use for my plastic miniatures to assemble them. The Tester's red label has a very strong smell, and my wife is super sensitive to any kind of odor. So living with me already is a hassle for her, but now having to deal with the smell of rubber or plastic cement rather all over the house, it drives her nuts and batty, especially with the kids now, the babies being in the play area right next to where I work. It's not bueno. So I used the Tester's plastic cement with the blue label, the non-toxic version. I'm going to link it to the video so you can check it out for yourself if you want to. I find it super helpful. If you're sensitive to smell yourself, then pick it up. Now, the best way to see if your leg is in line with where it needs to be is turn it around and check the butt. The butt crack creates this weird separation. If you're looking at it from the front, logically that's how we would assemble it, right? Put the leg on from the front, make sure that it's sealed up. But if it's pushed in at a strange angle, it'll look like it's on from the front, but from the back there's going to be this huge gap between the butt cheeks, and we don't want our Culexus Assassin to be walking around with his cheeks flapping in the wind. Now there's a groove and a peg in the shoulder for his left shoulder, but you can check the angle with the artwork like I did just to make sure you've got it in correctly. And if you look at the right arm, it's really brilliantly designed, where there are grooves for the crack grenades, or the psych out grenades rather, that are on the chest. So you see exactly the angle that the right arm needs to go in, because those grenades aren't going to go anywhere else. They literally slot into those two holes right there on the chest. It's brilliant design. I think if you're going to be doing monopose models like this, character models, that kind of ingenuity and creativity, it's really helpful, especially to beginner hobbyists. If you have more of those puzzle pieces that fit into place, then rather than doing like shoulders onto torso, flat to flat pieces, and legs like flat pieces like the old Warhammer models used to be, then it is definitely a time saver in assembling. And at my age, it's all about saving time at the table. Get these models built as fast as possible so you can spray prime them and get to painting them. All right, next I'm going to be moving on to the funky collar bit. Yeah, once you have the other arm on, there's like a little antenna that comes out of his back, and then you've got the headpiece. Now the headpiece comes in 3 separate pieces. There's the mask with the alternate face on it, which I mentioned earlier. Then there's like the big elongated skull, Xenos looking skull thing, and then there is that funky collar. It looks like a life preserver wrapped around the neck right there. I'm clipping out right now. That one is going to have some bits of flash. You're going to need to shave them off with a sharp hobby knife just to make sure that there aren't any weird pieces of flash. Then that skull part, the elongated xenomorph part, slips right on top, and it should create a flat surface with the bottom and the top where the mask is going to go. So all 3 pieces together. You might want to do the 2, like the collar and the headpiece first. Let that dry, because if you're going to be pushing the mask on, it might cause the 2 other pieces to slip around, and then you just get glue all over your fingers. It's not fun. Once that head goes on, you're pretty much done, and then you just have to let it dry, and then you can get to painting. Hey, I want to say thank you for joining me in this video today, guys. If you enjoyed the content, if you are not familiar with my work, I'm a YouTuber, small content creator that's been making content on YouTube for many years now. And if you'd like to support my work, then you can send me a super chat or a super sticker, or you can join my channel as a member and be entitled to all these different perks. Just click the join button and see what what kind of perks I'm offering. And thank you so much for checking it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below. Let me know, what do you think? Do you run Imperial agents? What do you think of these guys? Have you ever fought with or against them on the tabletop? I'm interested to know. All right, have a great day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.